prepared speech session, and for that we have three speakers today. One is in his project speech development part. Two others are the free speeches. So I would like to welcome Kanchan Rajgiri for his project, and his evaluator will be Agora speaker Pratik Kharel. Could you please highlight your role?
Thank you, meeting leader. So today, Kanchan Rajgiri, our speaker Kanchan, will be giving a speech project on speech development part 2. So I think he'll have 5 to 7 minutes to give his speech, and he will have to give at least 4 types of rhetorical devices from different sections, and that's basically it. And give a speech according to every other project he has done before, including all of those. So I wish you all the best, Kanchan Rajgiri.
Thank you very much, meeting leader. Am I audible?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, let me start. Good morning, friends. Since the time immemorial, there has been so much of chaos in this universe. Whether we talk about the period of Ramayana or Mahabharata in the ancient time, or the World War or Cold War in the modern times, there has always been some kind of disorder every time. So why there is so much of trouble in our personal lives, in our society, in our country, or in the world? The simple answer to this question is because of the difference in the understanding of things. When people contradict in the understanding of things, there is always some kind of clash. So how do we perceive things? How do we understand the world? And how can we cope up of this problem of understanding of the things? That I'm going to discuss in this speech. Human beings understand the world at 4 levels: physical, emotional, mental, and intuitional. The physical understanding of the world is called instinct, emotional is called emotion, mental is called intellect, and intuitional is called intuition. Instinct, emotion, intellect, and intuition. Let's explore these 4 levels. First is intuition. First is instinct. Instinct is the very basic level of our understanding. It is related to our sense organs. That means what we hear, what we see, what we smell, what we taste, or what we feel is instinct. So this instinct is very common in the animal world, and it is achieved without learning. Every animal has it. The higher level than instinct is emotion. Emotion is controlled by our heart. Heart is sometimes called as the 6th sense organ. But according to science, the job of the heart is just to purify the blood, apart from beating tuk 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 tuk. And we all have heard that people say, do what your heart says. So this level of understanding, emotional level, is a little bit dangerous thing, because if emotional understanding would survive, then the corruption would be valid, right? Because the people who are corrupt, they would be doing that thing for the love of their family or someone, or the extremism or terrorism would be valid because they do this thing for the love of some cause. So emotion, this is the second level of our understanding. It is common in the animal world and it is achieved without learning. Higher the level of emotion is intellect. Intellect is controlled by our brain and it is about knowledge, logic, and reasoning, and it should be achieved by learning. And only few species of animals have intellect, including the humans. After this level, the fourth stage of our understanding is called intuition. So different people have different opinion about intuition. Some rank it higher than the intellect and some rank it lower than the intellect. Even Steve Jobs used to say that intuition is more powerful than intellect. So what intuition is, it is the inner voice. I would also like to categorize the spiritual awakening and enlightenment in this level of understanding. So these are the four levels of understanding. So let me connect these four levels. Connect these four levels. These four levels come as a life cycle in our life. While we are born, we start with instinct and then we gain emotion, then we achieve intellect, intuition, and finally at our old age we again go back to our senses. That means instinct. So when we die, everything collapses. So the solution to most of our problems is to operate at the higher level of our understanding. That means at the level of intellect and intuition. But it doesn't mean that the other level of understanding, the instinct and emotion, are not important at all. They are very important, and there is apex in each of this level. The apex of instinct is called pleasure. The apex of emotion is called love. So much of love is called compassion, and compassion means our heart is pleasant. The apex of intellect is called peace. So much of peace is called joy. Joy means our mind is pleasant. And the apex of intuition is called bliss. And so much of bliss means ecstasy. So ecstasy means our soul is pleasant. So finally, in conclusion, we need to find the apex of each of this level of understanding and move to the higher level. So at last, my message to you all is we have all these level of understanding in us. So don't let the noise of others' opinion drown your inner voice. Don't be the slave of your emotions because you are the master of your one thoughts. Thank you very much.